allowing us to deliver even more of the sustainable steel needed to solve the challenges of tomorrow without sacrificing performance today. That's big picture steel.
ARP manufactures the ultimate fasteners from the best raw materials using cold forged technology. Family owned and made in the USA. Quality always comes first. For whatever extreme category you're in, it's always ARP-bolts.com.
The best dirt late model series in America. Down the back trying to win. Moran and Davenport bring him to the green. Shepard is out of fuel. Shepard may be out of fuel. Your 2024 Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series champion is Ricky Thornton Jr.
The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is brought to you by Lucas Oil. Keep that engine alive. By Velan, your partner for all things metal. And by Big River Steel, developing sustainable steel made with the world's most advanced mini-mill technologies.
Dustin Jarrett just thought he was on his way down to the Diamond Bar.
Psych!
Just had to get one last breath in here from Dustin as we are ready to go for the Jicamo Super Stocks. They'll go around one more time and we'll see the green flag. Here's the way your starting grid is going to look. Kyle Davis has been the fastest all night out of Colcord, Oklahoma in the 10K. He has earned a P1 with Gary Clark on his outside, the Walker Rocket in the 4G. Tim Brown and Tony England make up row number 2. Scrappy Michael Muskrat and the Flash Johnny Finnewald starting 5th and 6th. Jonesboro, Arkansas is John Hayes. Rolls off in 7th. Jace Nelson on his outside. Kenny Carroll and Terry Schultz back in row number 5. Frank Escamilla and Aaron Murray, they make up row number 6. Scott Pullen and Jeremy Russell in row 7. Luke Leatherman and Aaron Poe in row 8. Those are all the qualifiers that got in before the B feature. The rest of the grid all came in through the B. We are locked and loaded and ready to go, trying to beat the rain here at Lucas Oil Speedway. We'll see what Kyle Davis has to say about it as we're green at the Diamond of Dirt tracks. Quick lead for Kyle Davis. Stacked and packed 3 wide in a battle for 3rd. Johnny Finnewald shoots the gap right up through the middle. Tony England leaves it all hanging out on the outside. He's going to drop back to 5th. Tucked back in behind Tim Brown as Kyle Davis leads lap number 1. Out by 6 car lengths down the back chute. Now Johnny Finnewald. Rim riding around the top side through 3 and 4. Tries to get a run on Gary Clark. Clark will lead by half a car length over Johnny at the line. That's 2nd and 3rd was Tim Brown back in 4th. And the Midwest Sheet Metal caution will come out, and it's a spin by the 64. He started mid-pack. That's Luke Leatherman out of Muskogee, Oklahoma, starting in P15. One of the last to make his way in on the automatic qualifiers from the heat race, but he will bring out the caution as we had ran 2 laps with 18 to go. The Hobby Time Motorsport safety crew going to head out and tend to the TJR chassis, the BMS racing engine of Luke Leatherman. Gets it fired up on his own, but he will have to go to the tailback. We'll get them all lined out as Kyle Davis had built up a 2nd advantage already just after 2 laps. That's eerie looking. The moon here at Lucas Oil Speedway beat red. Forgot what they were calling that moon. There's a special name for that moon. Saw that coming home last night from Kansas City off in the distance, and it is looming over Lucas Oil Speedway. Kyle Davis led the first 2 laps. Gary Clark has chosen to go inside row number 2. On this restart, Delaware double file restart will put Johnny Finnewald on his outside. So the inside row will have Kyle Davis, Gary Clark, Tim Brown, and Jace Nelson. To the outside, Johnny Finnewald, Tony England, and Michael Muskrat. That's your top 7. As the lights are out and Kyle Davis has them slowed down on the track, about as slow as you can go. They're at an idle into turn number 3. They are at an idle no longer. Full song down the front stretch as Kyle Davis. The roar of the engines head up into turn 1 and 2. And a good run for Johnny Finnewald on the restart. where Kyle Davis on the first 2 laps had built up a pretty good advantage over Gary Clark. Now that Johnny Finewald's gotten in clean air, there may be a challenge for the lead before too long because Johnny's staying right with the 10. He's not just staying with him, he's motoring around him. Got just to his outside through 1 and 2. Going to carry the momentum on the high side through 3 and 4. Johnny Finewald, a former late model driver here at Lucas Oil Speedway, won championships here in the late model class. Told us back a long time ago, he just lets the car dictate how he rolls through the turns. He doesn't try to do too much. Whatever the car is up for, and this track has been rubbered over after the 40-lap main from the late models. And Johnny Finewald's going to grab the lead on lap number 5. The three-time champ, the Flash, Johnny Finewald, who has picked up a win in a stock car, has picked up a win in a super stock. He's the new leader in a battle for third, we'll wage on, as Gary Clark has Tony England and Tim Brown working to his outside. Johnny Finewald leads by 2 car lengths now over Kyle Davis. Super stock class, as we mentioned, had gone away for a few years, but one thing that these drivers had always said throughout the years is there is a mutual respect amongst all the drivers. They don't just beat and bang and tear up equipment. They race about as clean as it can get, but they're also about as competitive as you can imagine. As Johnny Finewald had been able to pass Kyle Davis, but he has not, since he's got clear windshield out in front of him, been able to pull away, only leading by 3 or 4 car lengths. Gary Clark now has Tim Brown working to his outside. Tim Brown to the outside, and Tony England right in his tire tracks on the bottom side through 1 and 2, do the exact same things through 3 and 4. Last year, Gary Clark started on the pole of the Big Buck 50. Said he came into Lucas Oil Speedway and after 2 strong preliminary nights, couldn't believe that he had earned the right to be on the pole for one of the biggest super stock races in the entire Midwest. But he started on the pole, ended up in 7th, over 100 feature wins for Gary Clark. Tim Brown's gotten around him, and now Tony England knocking on the door of the 4G. 2 car lengths behind the Arkansas Hot Shoe and Tony England. Talk about over 100 wins for Gary Clark. How about Tony England? Over 300 career victories for the pilot of the G1. At last check, 327 career dubs in the scoring column for Tony England. He's second in the points here, down by 6 to Tim Brown. And you see Terry Schultz now starting to inch into the picture of the 0-4. And boy, he came out of nowhere. 3 wide. He's leaving it all out on the top side. High, wide, and handsome is the 4 of Terry Schultz. He's been here this year in a B mod. Ran here a couple of times. First time we've seen him here in a stock car. He'll diamond the corner through 3 and 4. Goes from the outside to the inside, now looking to make the pass on Gary Clark. If he can make the pass on Gary Clark, he'll have Tony England dead ahead with 7 to go. Biggest mover in the race so far has been Donnie Miller, up 10 spots. He's close to a top 10. Maybe a little too much into 1 and 2 that time for Terry Schultz. Went up high on the track and opened the door for Gary Clark to get back underneath him, and he's going to return the favor off of 4. Fun race for Terry Schultz up into the top 5. Johnny Finewald now leads by 2.5 seconds over Kyle Davis. He is leaving them all behind. Inside 4 laps to go. And Johnny Finewald now starting to catch up with lap traffic, but shouldn't be much of an issue as the back end of the line is all spread out. They're not really battling side by side in front of your race leader, Johnny Finewald, with 3 to go. Scott Pullen will go a lap down. And as we said, Donnie Miller had been the big mover. As we say that, Donnie Miller drops off the track. So he had gone up 10 positions, and now he's off, and Johnny Finewald is off and running with 2 to go. He's gaining about a second a lap now on Kyle Brown. So 1 to go for Johnny Finewald. A 2-time winner at Lucas Oil Speedway this season. He's done it in a stock car. He's done it in a super stock. He's had his late model out, hasn't picked up a victory in it yet. But on the first night of the Diamond Nationals at Lucas Oil Speedway, Johnny Finewald will play spoiler to the fastest car in the field all night long. Kyle Davis comes home in second, but the Flash was able to cruise past Kyle Davis and pick up a win by over 4 seconds.